here. I'm going to go over here to Lee chess, and we're going to maybe play a king's gambit. We'll see what we get. You never know. When you click this big king here, it can be, okay, we got white. We're going to play the king's gambit. A lot of people have been asking about the king's gambit. They think it's a little bit too dangerous to play. It's really not all that dangerous. If the queen comes out and attacks there, you can defend very easily. That's an interesting move that he just made. I'm going to bring the knight out. And at this point, there's different things you can do. Some people trade off this bishop, but I don't really think that it trades them off, but it also kind of loosens the tension a little bit. You want to kind of keep the tension going in this game. I'm still eyeing this beautiful white diagonal over here to his king. It's better to retake with the pawn. If we had taken with the knight, he would have traded off. Okay, we still want to get that diagonal over there, and we really can't because of that bishop, but we will soon. Oh, we can get the diagonal right now. I don't like coming up there, though. I think it'll be better over here. Now, I did that because I want to bring this knight up here. If he retakes with the bishop, we retake with the queen. But I want to bring the knight up here and then get a check here on this diagonal. And we'll see how this works. Okay, we have an attack on this pawn now with our queen. We got a few opportunities over there. We have to get rid of this knight here somehow. We'll do that with this. He looks like he's going to castle queenside now, which is interesting. Okay, but he really can't castle as fast as he would like. If he tries now, I'm going to take this bishop. And that's not too bad because the bishop was protecting the knight. The important thing here is don't give him a lot of time to think. Now he's threatening mate right here, so the best way to get out of that is to bring the knight back to here. And if he moves his queen, okay, he's threatening to take this knight and then mate, so we had to come back here with the queen to protect against that pawn. We're actually a piece ahead now, as he's got a pretty strong attack going here. But if we play this right, we should be able to pull this off. Okay, I'm just going to move my knight out and gain a temple. Against that rook. He'll have to move his rook. I shouldn't say he has to move his rook. He can do anything he wants to. But at least now we're basically developed. Hopefully, I'm not even really thinking too much what he can do in his next move. And I probably should think more. We are a piece ahead. That's one reason I wasn't thinking too much. Okay, I'm going to defend that knight back. Okay, and now bring this knight forward. He's advancing that pawn down there very well. I don't think he's going to get a queen on that, though. we might lose the rook. I would not lose the rook, but that's called losing the exchange. If he takes now with the knight, I think the best thing to do here is retake with the queen, because the queen is always in a little bit of danger from the rook, but the king is even more important, and I would prefer not to lose that king, and this centralizes the queen a little bit. It's hard for him to kick this knight out now. Going to bring him over here, attacking that pawn. If he doesn't see that, we'll win that pawn. And also, the bishop here blocks this pawn. Okay, we got the knight there. We got the knight protecting. And if he takes that knight, we'll have that knight protecting. So, we're kind of okay there. And I've got to keep this bishop protected. We'll see what happens here. It's a very interesting game. Again, he's almost going to checkmate me all the time. He's constantly threatening mate over there, but at least I got the knight there, and the knight protecting that. We're almost. Oh, you see that? He's threatening to take the knight and then get the checkmate over there. Interesting. Okay, I see what I can do. I'm going to move this up. And he can get another attack on this knight, but I plan to interpose the bishop, and the bishop also attacks the queen. So he's got to move his queen now, and then I think this bishop is going to be pretty strong right out there. And then we can finally, we got to get our king out of that line, because he was going to take our bishop, and then this pawn, you see, was going to be pinned against our king. Got two possibilities now. I kind of think this is the best move. Interesting. We got a great, interesting game going here. Okay, excellent. I think that's good for me. I'm going to threaten his queen and see what happens here. He can put me in check here, and if he does, I'll interpose the queen and hopefully trade off queens. We're doing okay on time, 1:12 against 55, which is great. Would love to get that knight. I'm going to protect that bishop one more time. He can kind of win some material here, but I'm a piece ahead. If he takes this, I have to take here. He takes there. I take with the queen. Yeah, but you see, he's going to end up. I retook with that because that way. I'm just getting out here to protect that knight in case he takes with that. Okay, so he's got 20 seconds on the clock, and I just offered a trade of queens there. His queen cannot resist really because it was in line with his king, because he's got 10 seconds and I got 42, and we're a piece ahead. So that was a kind of in a sense, a boring game because it wasn't too much happening right there at the end. But let's do the post-mortem. And just to see if any of that was valid that I was talking about there in the middle. You never know until you see the Lichess engine is completely free, and it'll tell you if what you were thinking was correct or not. If you click this little button up here, it'll tell you always the next move for black. Okay, white, we were playing white. We were ahead the whole time. We had a couple of blunders here. We blundered there, but our opponent didn't see it, so it was okay. White was ahead most of the game. So that was a King's Gambit. We'll just run through the opening there. You can see the little ball down here. It's exactly at 0. Lichess is telling us that we're playing a good King's Gambit. Everything's even. Everything we did was correct. We're even a little bit ahead here with white. Let's see where black. Now this was a tricky move, and I actually had some problems with that. You'll remember, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was hoping he would take me or something. And then I ran into some trouble, but then immediately he did the wrong thing too. He should have, what were they telling him to do? Oh, that would have been nice. Coming out with a pretty strong attack against my queen and that pawn. But he didn't see that. Instead, he got ready to castle on queen's side. And then you'll just remember what we did. I took that thinking that he might castle, and he did. And then we won the bishop, and we're already at 0.6. And you'll remember the end of the game. Not much to see there, but just to show you the opening of the King's Gambit. I'll go back to the beginning, just run through that really quick one more time so you can see how it is. Okay, that pawn comes up. I like to close down the center in the King's Gambit. There's different ways to play that. When you bring the knight to here, you get attacking possibilities because this knight can, with 1 or 2 moves, start to exert pressure on these white squares along with the queen. And it also, the knight protects against the queen coming up, checking the king. So it's always good to have this knight here in the King's Gambit. And then we castled, and then after that, it was just, we're basically out of the opening here. And you'll see with the ball, where is the little ball here? Move it up. Okay, from right here to where we castle, the ball's right there. So it's a good King's Gambit. You got a lot of attacking possibilities, and you're not behind at all. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the postmortem. Hope you enjoyed the game. We'll be right back. I like to get separate videos. I'm just going to sign off for like 30 seconds, and we'll be right back.